Well, you broke the computer. You happy now?
Uh-huh. Yeah, you've got the blame. What have you done to it?
I'll tell you what I did to it. Behind your back, I pushed a few buttons and you weren't paying attention.
You weren't even there.
I was 2 feet away.
Yeah. So then right away you start, you pushed the wrong button.
Well, I'd just like to reply to one of my many fans out there about the last video we did. You know, the comment about how you should dump me because I'm such a belligerent
Drunkard.
I don't remember that drunkard being on that.
I just read it.
Oh, drunkard. Oh. Why did you say that when you first introduced me to this little snide comment, which isn't, you know, I consider that to be pretty good. Most people can't do that on a regular basis. You said it was a female. And I said, well, how do you know it's a female? It could have been a guy, you know, a guy that wanted to, you know, take over.
Her name sounded like female.
Well, this coming from a woman whose name is Gerry? Okay, what was her name? There wasn't any name. Was it anonymous? Well, anyway, folks, I really do appreciate all of these little comments because it makes me feel good. Now, I've managed to get her pissed off because it wasn't her fault the computer crashed. I know it wasn't.
Don't use the word crash. That's a bad word to use in connection to a computer.
Wait a minute. The computer cannot hear me talking.
I can.
Yes, but I know. But
and I don't like to hear that word.
All right. Let's put it like this. The computer has a little bit of nausea, and I believe it's going to vomit, but it ain't crashing, okay? It might get a little sick, and therefore, there might be something happening over here, you know, behind the computer. There's a little dribbling going on. I don't know what that is, but I hope it's oil, you know, rather than something that's on the floor. Did you notice that in the back there? There's a little dribbling coming on. Yeah, it sounded just like that. That was the computer. I don't know what. I know what it is. I know what it is now. On that Facebook thing, right? There was a guy's name on there that you brought it up, and then I wanted to make a comment about it, and you decided, no, that comment's not true. That comment isn't good. And then, notice I'm not using this guy's name. His initials are RR, though. You know, I mean, his first name is the same as mine.
Well, there's a whole world full of people, so why do you insist on even, you know, if there's a troll in your life, and troll means somebody that makes snide comments that you have done nothing to recently. You may have done something to him years and years ago, but you haven't done anything to him recently. It's just ignore him. Trolls.
Hey, this isn't bad. You weren't even on that first part. As a matter of fact, you only got half your face on this. This is pretty good. You know, I'm usually only half on, now you're half off. I should not pursue that, should I? Well, I mean, let's face it. I knew the guy 20 years ago, all right?
20 years ago? And he's still sending you insults?
Well, no.
I mean, out of the blue, he comes on there and he pays his, I guess, ex-wife a compliment and has to put you down to do it. After 20 years, apparently you're irritating him some way. Just by still being alive, I would say.
Well, listen, you want me to tell you the real truth?
What?
Belligerent drunks do not like people who try to tell them that just by being alive, it irritates them. Now, you have told me on many occasions that just my being alive irritates you because you can hardly wait for me to die so you can get all the...
Out!
Well, the funny thing about it is that if you have in your background, your ability, and which I hate to use the word talent because it's so abused these days, that you can act, and people actually are, God, belligerent, drunk. You need to get him, excise him out of your life, Well,
that's what you need to do with this fellow.
No,
what does he mean by coming out of the wood, of the past and attacking you like that? I didn't think that was very nice. I don't like this guy.
Well, first of all, I didn't understand it.
Well, it was obviously an insult. A box of MDs? In other words,
hell does that mean?
His ex-wife is smarter than a whole box of yous. Does that mean that you irritated him at one time with your personality? How could you could possibly have done that?
Well, I'll tell you why I can do it, because I'm a belligerent drunk. You get it? Now don't get me started on this thing, because just because I gave him a lot of money and a lot of furniture and guns and stuff like that, that don't mean shit.
Oh, and 20 years later he comes out and thinks, I can't stand that guy. I'm just going to have to say something.
I know.
He can't just compliment his ex-wife and say she was very smart. But he has to give you a backhanded insult. What's that all about?
I don't think it was anything backhanded.
Oh, it was straight out.
It was a straight cold cock right in the face. There wasn't a backhanded thing going on.
You're totally innocent. You don't even understand Facebook. You go up on Facebook, you find yourself insulted.
Yeah, but see, the problem is I never asked for this. I didn't ask to go on
you didn't
Facebook.
even ask for Facebook. You're not that. And I'm the one that's said, get up on Facebook. And so now I'm the one that's upset as I come up there after putting you up there. And this guy comes out of your past and insults you.
Yeah, you see, the point I'm trying to make is that I don't need things from my past insulting me. I have you every day. Every day, I know you're going to come down here in the morning, have coffee, have a little breakfast, and if we can get past 2 minutes without an insult in my coming direction, I know you're sick. I know you're not feeling good, your family's all screwed up.
And you are, yeah, I know it. I can see that I am very irritated. My brother-in-law just don't know whether he's got his leg left this morning.
What happened?
It went cold and dead. Have you ever known? Have you ever experienced a cold, dead?
I've had an appendage that went cold and dead. And you know what they're going to do? You know what they're going to try to do to that leg, right?
No, they're going to try to save it. This doctor's dedicated to saving legs. And he was going to operate on it for 5 hours.
If something goes cold and dead, don't tell your doctor, because the first thing they want to do is... Seriously, that's the way it is, I mean.
And then my poor sister had her thyroid taken out the day before, and her husband's leg got aggravated, I guess, moving around, looking after her, and it went cold and dead. So they had to jump in the car and go to emergency, miles and miles away. You know, in Utah, you have to go miles to emergency.
No, wait a minute.
You can't just go down the street.
Is this like 5 miles, 10 miles?
No, 150, something like that.
150 miles? Well, shit, you could be dead by then, you know.
Yes. Yes, you have to, and he had to do this on driving on a cold, dead leg.
Not only that, but the horses could be dead by the time they get there.
Yeah.
I mean, geez. Holy Christ.
I didn't realize that my nerves were pretty shattered at the thought of my poor sister, barely recovered from surgery, having to go again to another wild trip to emergency. Look what we have to look forward to, you know. I was just thinking, oh my goodness sake. I mean, I'm 8 years older than she is, and I haven't even got to those terrible times with you, with your leg going cold and dead.
It's an appendage, it's not a leg.
No.
Okay. Yes, I know. If you're in the Army, okay, you guys, let's line up. It's time for the third leg inspection, right? I don't think so.
And if he does get his leg cut off, his back is completely deteriorating. I mean, and his hips, no, he's just a walking. So that's what you and I have to look forward to. And they are 8 years younger than we are. And how we've escaped anything like this, I don't know. We're just lucky, I guess.
No. There is an old euphemism way back in 7000 BC, was called the good die young. It kind of leaves us right out there because the good die young, holy crap, I'm going to be around for a long time. I certainly hope not. Oh, man.
Well, hurry up. I've got to go home and settle my tattered nerves. That's all there is to it. I've got to find out if how my sister is this morning, whether she's okay or not, and whether he's still got his leg, and
if the computer will come back on.
I don't know how she would manage, or you know.
You know what you're really worried about? If the computer's going to come back on or not.
Yes, and then I come down here and that computer's gone black. I don't know why it went black. And the monitor is very expensive. You can't afford another monitor right now.
Why do you concern yourself about what I can afford and what I can't afford?
So my nerves are tattered. My nerves are extremely tattered, and if you don't hurry up.
Tattered?
Yes, they're tattered this morning.
What does tattered mean?
Tattered means, I don't know, but it just means that...
Well, if you said tattered, what...
I mean, you know, I dealt with that emergency last night, and I come down here, the computer goes black.
Oh, wait a minute, what emergency?
Internet goes off.
What emergency last night did you...
Probably, my sister barely recovering from surgery, and then having to go do another ordeal.
Okay.
So, and then I come down here, and what does your computer do? It decides to act up.
No, it doesn't. It gave you what you...
He blamed me.
It gave you...
What did you do to that computer? And all I did is what I usually do. And it just did that by itself. I swear I didn't do anything to it. And so then he used the horrible word, crash. You crashed my computer.
I did not know.
You do not use a word like crash.
That was
in reference to a computer. That is the worst possible word that you could possibly use.
Well, no, I think bashed would be good.
No.
bash, I'm bashing.
Don't
this
ever use
computer.
the word crash.
You're using
Anybody.
You have used it 6 times in the last 6
Yes,
seconds.
well, that's because you said it, and you said
I
the
did not.
horrible,
I didn't know it was
forbidden word.
I did not know that was one of the 7 words you couldn't say on television.
You
know,
don't
I didn't
say
know
that. Because that would invite bad luck.
We all know what the other 7 words are, right? Shall we say them?
No, don't say that. Don't ever say, even mention that word.
I got it. From now on, we'll just say the C word, and we'll know what it is, right? That's like the N word, you know.
Sounds like cancer.
And the F word.
No, a computer does not get cancer. It gets that other the big
We
C.
don't know.
The big
It gets
C.
a virus. It gets a virus.
And it gets the big C, which is not cancer. And you.
Well, folks, I just wanted to know this.
You mentioned
As
this.
a belligerent drunk, I'm going to tell you right now, you come over to my apartment and I'll beat the living crap out of you. But you know what? I still love y'all out there. So, we'll be making a country western
Isn't
pretty
he
soon.
sweet? Isn't he sweet? So sweet.
I hate your guts.